The mountains of eastern Afghanistan rose sharply against the pale light of dawn, jagged ridges casting long, uneven shadows across the valleys below. The air was thin and cold, each breath carrying a sharp sting that reminded every member of SEAL Team 2 how high and exposed their position was. Dust clung to rocks and clothing, drifting in faint swirls with the light morning breeze. Staff Sergeant Sarah Thompson moved with deliberate care, her eyes scanning the terrain as she adjusted the AN divided by PRC 117 headset over her ears. Folded maps and targeting devices were secured in her pack, each tool arranged precisely for immediate use. Though she was not a SEAL by training, her presence was vital. She monitored multiple radio channels, ready to call in air support and guide the team if the situation turned deadly. Her calm confidence provided a quiet center in the disciplined chaos of preparation. The SEALs spread along the ridge, each step measured, each movement purposeful, as if rehearsed countless times before. Rodriguez and Reyes scanned the valleys below with high-powered optics, noting every subtle shift in shadows or movement. Patterson held the center, eyes sharp and posture rigid, coordinating placements and assessing the surroundings. The mountains themselves seemed alive, teeth ready to close on anyone careless enough to misstep. Sarah marked waypoints on her maps and double-checked frequencies, her hands steady despite the pressure. The team's rhythm was silent but precise, boots shifting across rock, breaths timed, fingers on triggers. A thin mist curled along the ledges, carrying the scent of dust and stone, a reminder of the isolation and stakes of the mission ahead. Every detail mattered. Every observation could mean life or death. As the sun began to lighten the horizon, the ridge held them poised between anticipation and imminent danger. A fragile line between mission success and disaster. Lieutenant James Patterson led SEAL Team 2 with quiet authority, his posture rigid and eyes scanning the terrain with sharp focus. Every movement of the team passed through his assessment, each decision measured to maintain situational awareness and ensure coordination along the ridge. Petty Officer Michael Rodriguez operated the M110 semi-automatic sniper rifle with practiced precision, scanning the valleys below for any sign of enemy movement and preparing to engage if the situation demanded. Corporal Daniel Reyes moved slightly ahead, the point man and observer, carefully monitoring approach routes, marking waypoints, and relaying critical information back to Patterson and the rest of the team. Each member's discipline and specialized training interlocked seamlessly, creating a single, efficient unit capable of responding to threats with speed and accuracy. Sarah Thompson, the USAF Combat Controller attached to the mission, monitored multiple radio channels and maintained communication with headquarters and air support. She tracked enemy movements through optics and sensors, ensuring the team had the intelligence needed to make split-second decisions. Her role made her the vital link between the ground operation and aerial assets, providing a layer of security that extended beyond the ridge. The team's coordination was silent yet precise, built on trust, mutual respect, and rigorous training. Every adjustment of position, every hand signal, and every check of equipment was purposeful, a testament to their preparation and readiness. The anticipation of possible engagement hung in the cold morning air, each member poised, disciplined, and alert. Together, they formed a seamless, elite force, prepared for unforeseen threats while moving with professional efficiency and quiet cohesion across the jagged terrain of eastern Afghanistan. SEAL Team 2 moved methodically along the ridge, selecting a position that offered concealment while providing a clear line of sight over the compound below. Each rock and ledge was considered for cover, elevation, and fields of fire, ensuring that the team could observe without exposing themselves to potential enemy positions. Sarah Thompson adjusted her AN divided by PRC 117 headset, verifying multiple radio channels and checking the satellite link to maintain constant communication with headquarters. She arranged targeting devices and folded maps within easy reach, ready to coordinate air support at a moment's notice. Rodriguez set up his M110 semi-automatic sniper rifle, scanning the terrain with practiced precision while Reyes kept watch on the approach routes, noting subtle movements in the valley below. Lieutenant Patterson observed the surrounding terrain, coordinating team placements and reinforcing command authority with deliberate focus. Silent hand signals and careful gestures allowed the team to deploy into position, establishing a defensive arc, while each member checked the other's cover and angles. The air was crisp and thin, curling around jagged rocks as tension hung quietly over the ridge. Every motion was deliberate, every breath controlled. Reflecting the rigorous training and discipline of the SEALs, Sarah's calm confidence anchored the team, her awareness of both ground and air dynamics, providing a vital link between the team and command. The compound below remained still for now, but the team's meticulous preparations ensured they were ready for any eventuality. The ridge felt both isolating and protective, a natural vantage point transformed into a carefully crafted observation post through precision, professionalism, and silent coordination, immersing the team in the high-stakes rhythm of special operations, surveillance. Corporal Daniel Reyes's eyes narrowed as he scanned the terrain beyond the ridgeline, noting subtle movements that hinted at more than casual activity. Small groups of Taliban fighters moved with deliberate coordination, advancing in patterns that suggested layered tactics designed to channel attention and restrict escape routes. He relayed his observations over the team channel, keeping his voice calm and measured, allowing the team to digest the information without panic. Petty Officer Michael Rodriguez adjusted his optics, confirming the movement and identifying faint silhouettes moving with cover discipline across the valley floor. Lieutenant James Patterson assessed the threat quickly, recognizing the potential for a coordinated ambush, and ordered Sarah Thompson to prepare extraction protocols and monitor all communications channels. Sarah's hands moved efficiently over her AN divided by PRC 117 headset, logging call signs, clearing interference, and analyzing patterns of approach. She recognized the tactical layering intended to trap the team and mapped bearings, wind drift, and estimated timing for each element of the enemy movement. Static hissed across the overlapping channels, adding to the sense of tension, yet her focus never wavered. The ridge that had seemed advantageous now felt constricting, the potential kill zones forcing the team into calculated responses. Fire lanes, overwatch positions, and suppressive positions were considered, each detail informing their defensive posture. The team's professionalism and rapid calculations kept them poised for action. Relying on each other's observations and training, Sarah synthesized multiple streams of data, connecting distant movements to the immediate threat, creating a comprehensive picture of the ambush. A quiet tension settled over the ridge as the team realized the danger was real, deliberate, and imminent, every second stretching the anticipation of engagement. The careful observation, tactical reasoning, and readiness of each member highlighted the precision and discipline required to survive in a high-stakes special operations environment. Blending technical realism with cinematic suspense, the sudden crack of rifle fire shattered the quiet of the ridge, and SEAL Team 2 was immediately under assault from multiple enemy positions. Sniper nests and heavy machine guns opened up from across the valley, their overlapping fields of fire forming a lethal triangle designed to pin the team and restrict movement. Dust and rock fragments exploded around Rodriguez as he dropped low behind a boulder, bringing his M110 semi-automatic sniper rifle to bear while attempting to track enemy fire. Reyes shifted cautiously, marking positions and relaying locations, his eyes darting from shadow to shadow while avoiding exposure. Lieutenant James Patterson maintained control, issuing concise commands and adjusting fire lanes to keep the defensive arc intact, ensuring that every movement was calculated under extreme pressure. Sarah Thompson monitored the incoming fire through her targeting devices and headset, noting the angles of muzzle flashes, logging bearings, and coordinating with headquarters for delayed close air support, including UH-60 Black Hawk and AH-6 Little Bird helicopters that were on standby but constrained by terrain and weather. The air was filled with the acrid scent of cordite, ricochets pinging off rock surfaces, and dust kicked up with each exchange, creating a chaotic but measurable environment. The team shifted positions, checked cover, adjusted firing stances, and performed rapid reloads, all while maintaining situational awareness and cohesion. Suppressive positions, overwatch coverage, and potential kill zones were considered in every decision, emphasizing tactical reasoning under fire. The ridge's jagged rock formations provided both protection and hazard, forcing each soldier to navigate carefully while engaging threats. Tension mounted with every burst of gunfire, psychological pressure pressing on each member as their training and professionalism guided their reactions. Sarah synthesized multiple streams of information, maintaining calm focus and linking ground movements to potential aerial support. The firefight was intense, cinematic, and relentless, immersing the reader in the chaos and discipline of special operations combat, setting the stage for the pivotal choice that would soon fall to her. The ridge felt impossibly tight as enemy fire pinned SEAL Team 2 in overlapping kill zones, every movement carrying deadly risk. Sarah Thompson shifted her focus from monitoring radios to the immediate threat, recognizing that the team could not hold out until air support arrived. Patterson's commands were clipped, reminding her of her role. But Sarah asserted her capability, drawing on years of training and her qualification with the M24 sniper rifle. She lifted the weapon carefully, setting up the bipod on the uneven rock surface, adjusting for wind drift, and calculating the distances to enemy positions at 650, 720, and 800 meters. Her cheek rested firmly on the stock, elbows braced for stability, and she slowed her breathing until each inhale and exhale was measured and deliberate. Through the scope, she tracked muzzle flashes from the enemy sniper nests, timing her shots to exploit their rhythm. Each pull of the trigger was precise, compensating for recoil, subtle heat shimmer, and shifting wind, neutralizing the controlling points that had pinned the team and immediately shifting the tactical balance. Dust and debris kicked up around her teammates, but her focus remained absolute. A calm anchor amid chaos. The valley below seemed to hold its breath as one shot after another found its mark, each one breaking the enemy's cohesion and opening space for the SEALs to maneuver. Patterson and the team adjusted instantly. Moving through the gaps Sarah's shots created, the transformation was palpable. The combat controller, previously behind the radios, had become the decisive actor in the firefight. Every motion, calculation, and shot reflected professionalism, precise execution, and the weight of responsibility. Suspense and danger interwove with a sense of inspiration, as Sarah's calm determination and skill turned imminent disaster into an opportunity for control and survival. The ridge, rock cover, and distant valley bore witness to her quiet heroism. The tension of the moment immortalized in the precision of her actions. The battlefield shifted instantly as Sarah Thompson's precise shots took down the enemy sniper nests, creating gaps in the ambush that gave SEAL Team 2 a much-needed window to breathe and maneuver. Rodriguez adjusted his M110, moving carefully to a new position while scanning for any remaining threats, and Reyes followed, marking angles and clearing lines of fire to secure a path for movement. The team moved with calculated precision, checking cover and coordinating without breaking visual contact. Maintaining the defensive arc Patterson had established, Sarah kept radio communications open, logging coordinates and updating headquarters, while simultaneously guiding the team's extraction plan, ensuring situational awareness remained intact. The tension that had gripped the ridge eased slightly as confidence returned, and Patterson recognized the advantage that her actions had provided. Shifting the psychological balance in the team's favor, dust settled slowly over the rocks and the valley below. The sudden quiet punctuated by the distant echoes of disrupted enemy movement, signaling disarray in positions that had moments ago been lethal. The team methodically cleared angles, adjusted fire lanes, and reinforced suppressive positions, demonstrating the seamless application of training under real conditions. While relief and renewed focus washed over them, the environment remained tense, reminding them that danger could return at any moment. The transition from defensive hunker down to controlled, coordinated movement highlighted the decisive impact of skillful decision-making and teamwork. Every motion, every glance across the ridge, reflected the interplay of experience, trust, and tactical precision. The valley below, now less threatening, allowed the team to advance with caution but purpose, illustrating how a single skilled action had changed the tide of battle. Suspense, emotion, and technical realism intertwined as the SEALs moved with renewed agency, turning what had been a dire situation into a moment of cinematic triumph grounded in authenticity. SEAL Team 2 returned to base with the weight of the mission still pressing on their bodies, dust and sweat clinging to uniforms and gear. They settled stiffly into the debriefing room. Maps and intelligence spread across the table. Whiteboards streaked with marker lines showing movements, trajectories, and potential enemy positions. Lieutenant James Patterson spoke with clarity and precision, recounting the events of the mission, detailing the ambush, the overlapping fields of fire, and the 30-minute delay in air support that had left the team exposed. He emphasized the critical role of Sarah Thompson, noting how her 3 precise shots neutralized the enemy sniper nests, enabling the team to maneuver safely and gain the upper hand. The technical review was thorough trajectory analysis, wind drift calculations, and comparisons to established marksmanship standards confirmed that her performance had exceeded expectations. Each detail logged meticulously. Sarah remained composed, acknowledging the recognition with quiet confidence, avoiding any hint of arrogance. Rodriguez and the rest of the team observed with subtle nods and glances of respect, understanding the magnitude of what she had accomplished. The room itself felt charged with the residual tension of combat, the maps and notes reflecting the seriousness of every action taken on the ridge. The debrief balanced military professionalism with personal recognition, showing how exceptional skill and calm decision-making could redefine perceptions within an elite unit. Technical accuracy of ranks, protocol, and procedure was maintained throughout, reflecting realistic debriefing practices. The lesson was clear: hidden skills, expertise, and decisive action under pressure could determine survival. The atmosphere was both instructive and inspiring, immersing the team in reflection while conveying the gravity of their accomplishments. Through careful storytelling, the room captured both procedural clarity and human emotion, honoring the mission and the quiet heroism of a combat controller who had changed the outcome of the operation. The Afghan mountains were quiet, their jagged ridges standing silent, in contrast to the chaos that had just erupted. The wind drifted gently through the valleys, carrying a sense of stillness that seemed almost sacred after the firefight. Sarah Thompson sat slightly apart from the team, her mind running through the sequence of decisions and actions that had turned imminent disaster into survival. Her role had expanded beyond communication. Her calm, precise marksmanship had shifted the outcome of the engagement and saved lives. Around here, teammates offered subtle gestures of respect, quiet nods, and glances that conveyed admiration without words. The experience left its mark on each of them, reinforcing the value of preparation, trust, and confidence in one's skills. Sarah understood that heroism was not defined by rank or job title, but by the choices made in critical moments and the courage to act when hesitation could be fatal. The mountains seemed to echo this lesson, their stark beauty a reminder of both the fragility and resilience of life in conflict zones. Debriefing and recognition merged with personal reflection, highlighting how expertise, awareness, and decisive action can alter the course of events. The quiet allowed the team to internalize the importance of hidden skills, readiness, and steady decision-making under pressure. The sense of awe from the landscape reinforced the gravity of their mission, and the subtle victories achieved through discipline and courage. Reflection brought both humility and inspiration, showing that preparedness and calm execution in high-pressure situations define the quiet heroes who operate behind the front lines. The experience resonated deeply, leaving a lasting impression of responsibility, growth, and the transformative power of skill applied at the right moment. SEAL Team 2 moved toward the landing zone with cautious efficiency, the UH-60 Black Hawk helicopters thumping steadily in the distance. Dust rose in swirling clouds from the rotor wash. As the team approached, the jagged ridges beneath them fading into the early morning light. Sarah Thompson coordinated the extraction over her headset, monitoring for any residual threats while ensuring that each team member maintained proper spacing and cover. The valleys below lay silent, stretching wide and empty. The stillness, a stark contrast to the violence they had just endured. As they boarded, the sense of relief was palpable, tempered by the awareness that vigilance must remain. The team moved with practiced rhythm, acknowledging one another through subtle gestures that conveyed confidence, trust, and shared accomplishment. Sarah's dual role as combat controller and skilled marksman was quietly recognized, her actions having not only saved lives but also ensured the successful collection of critical intelligence. The enemy had lost coordination, and the materials secured during the mission promised strategic impact beyond the immediate engagement. The rotor wash swept dust and loose debris across the ridge, light glinting off jagged rocks as the helicopters lifted, carrying the team away from the battlefield. The wind and motion highlighted the cinematic scale of their environment, reinforcing both the danger they had faced and the skill required to survive. Communication remained precise and methodical, formation flying exact, and safety protocols observed. While the team settled into their seats, a subtle sense of hope mingled with relief as the mountains receded beneath them, a quiet acknowledgement of their resilience, teamwork, and preparedness. The mission concluded, but the work of special operations continued, the experience reinforcing the importance of decisive action, calm execution, and mutual trust. The extraction closed the chapter on one engagement while leaving the team ready for whatever lay ahead. Inspired, disciplined, and united,